Hey everyone, welcome back, and today we will be doing another lead code problem 605. Can place flowers, an easy one. You have long flower bed in which some of the plots are planted and some are not. However, the flowers cannot be planted in adjacent plots. Given an integer array flower bed containing zeros and ones, where 0 means an empty space and 1 means a non-empty space, and an integer n, return if n new flowers can be planted in the flower bed without violating the no adjacent flowers rule. So if we have given an array like this and a nums which will be equal to 2, 1 in the example 1 basically, so we have to plant this number. So we have to plant basically one plant in this flower bed. So we do not have to plant it here because this will just violate our rule, no adjacent flower rules. Flower cannot be planted in adjacent plots. So we'll be not planting it here, but we'll be planting it here because this will just pass the condition, which is no adjacent flowers rule. So what if we are given an array in which the elements are the same, you can say 0, but the flowers are increased. So now we have to plant two flowers. We have already seen that we can plant one flower at the middle one, you can say, and it will follow the condition. But the second flower we can either put it here or in the next location. Let me just like here, and it will just return false because we are going to violate the rule, no adjacent flowers rule. And now we have other cases in which we do not have a, you can say, a flower in our list or two empty spaces in our list, or a middle one, you can say. Like this case, just for understanding, we'll be seeing it again, and that's it. I think, like, just add another case like this. Okay, so in case like this, we will just assume we have, let me just remove it, we have a 0 at the very first and 0 at the very end. And now what we want to do is just change the change, or you can say plant the flower at the middle 0. So it is done like this. And now in the same you can say scenario with this list, we can just see the middle one and plant the at the middle index, or you can say the middle 0. At this, we can also, at this list we can also see that we have 0 at assuming 0 have very 0 at very first, 0 at very end. We will be seeing that if we take first three, we have 0 at we have already planted a flower at the middle 0, so we'll be moving forward. And now we have seen that the middle 0 here is empty, so we'll plant a flower here. And in the next one we cannot plant because the middle 0 does have its own, you can say, next to it is 1, and in the previous location it has 1, so not be planting here. And it is already planted, there is already a flower planted here, so we'll not be planting other flowers. And now what we will be doing here is just adding 0 at the very first and 0 at the very last. So now we will see that the first index, which is the middle 0, we will just plant a flower here, and that's it. So let's get started with our code. So making a new array in which we have flower bed. In flower bed, flower bed will have a 0 at the very first, 0 at the very end, and for I in range, we want to ignore the first index and the last index. So length of f minus 1, and if f at I is equal to j, and let me just make it I minus 1, and f at I is equal to 0. And also we want to check the next index if it is 0, because we are looking for three zeros only, then we can plant at the middle one. So f at I plus 1 is equal to 0, then we can just plant at the middle one, which will be just 1, and decrement our plant counter. And after doing all of this, we can just return if the number of plants we are given is less than or equal to 0. And that's it. So the overall time complexity will be just n o n, and the space complexity will also be o n, because we did make another, you can say, a list. So that's it.